Hey everybody, Grandmaster Ben Feingold here with another recap from round 5. This is the game Alireza Firouzja versus Jan-Krzysztof Duda. Let's get into the game. They played a Petrov. Solid. And it was very solid. And not only was it a Petrov, but eventually it started to look like a Berlin. So if I walked into the game and started looking at move 10, 11, 12, 13, I just wouldn't know if it was a Berlin or a Petrov. Very solid play. Knight d6. And position is almost symmetrical. Knight a6. Symmetrical pawn structure. Knight c7. Not very exciting, but white is slightly better because white can play knight e5 and black can't play knight e4. White can play b3, c4. Black can't really play c5. So that's slightly better for white. He did play for b3, c4. Bishop f6, always play bishop f6. And not very exciting. Now the game got exciting because black decided, instead of playing something like g6 and fianchettoing the bishop back on g7, something more aggressive. He took and played b5, trying to secure the d5 square for his knight. So if c5, the knight would move away, probably to c4. The other knight could go to d5. Black has good squares for his pieces. The d-pawn is backwards. So instead he traded. Now white has a passed pawn, and it's an isolated pawn. Is it good? Is it bad? The answer is fries. Bishop a5, pinning the knight, stopping knight d5. Knight c4, attacking the bishop, forcing the trade. Knight e4, threatening to ruin the pawn structure. Queen goes back to d8, defending. a4, getting rid of white's isolated a pawn. And the game just peters out into equality. After the move knight c3, this gives white nothing. Here, if white wanted to do something, it seems like the best try is queen b1. Always play queen b1. That way you attack the b5 pawn. But probably it's a draw anyway. This just immediately petered out to a draw. Queen d7, rook b1 attacking the b pawn, knight d6, sacrificing the pawn. He's like, yay, I want a pawn. I'm a pawn up. Maybe I'm winning. Except for one thing. You can't play queen takes knight because you have a back rank issue. And black wins, obviously. So he took with the rook, and he was thinking, okay, rook here, I'm a pawn up. Hooray for me. And then Duda said, excuse me while I whip this out. And after a lot of screaming, he played bishop takes d4. The tactic of the century. It's a slow century. Now black's threatening bishop takes f2 check, winning the queen. You can't take with the queen because I trade queens and checkmate you. So you have to take with the knight. Now rook check. You have to play rook b1. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, this doesn't work. If rook takes rook and queen takes knight, queen b8 leads to mate. That's correct. But he didn't play rook takes rook. He played other way around. Queen takes d4, confusing the audience. And now it's just a dead draw. You can't take, well, you could actually take the rook. Rook takes rook leads to equality. But he played queen f1, which is even more equal. And the game ended in a draw after repetition. Draw by reputation. And they repeated moves, and the game was declared a draw. Very nice defense from Duda. Firouzja could have pressed a little more, but instead the game just petered out. It was a Petrov. White was slightly better, but never had a big or a winning advantage. Good defense by Duda. Hope you enjoyed this recap. This is Grandmaster Ben Feingold here on YouTube. You can watch live on Twitch, which some of you are doing right now, twitch.tv/GMBenjaminFeingold, for recaps and live coverage of the event from the 2022 candidates. See you next round. Bye.